per ground of the fourth impeachment complaint. Please allow the chair to read Article 1. Culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust, and other high crimes, citing the following specific offenses: assassination plot, sedition, and subversion of constitutional order. We are now opening the floor for opinions, comments, and manifestations of the Justice members. Impeachment complaints against Vice President Sara Duterte. Sa mga kasama natin dito at sa mga nanonood, our pace is deliberate because our duty is delicate. Hindi tayo narito para magmadali. Hindi rin tayo narito para magkubli. We are here to uphold the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines calmly, carefully, courageously. When we began on March 2, 4 complaints were referred to this committee. The first was set aside, pursuant to the 1-year bar rule. The second was withdrawn. Yesterday, we focused on the third impeachment complaint endorsed by Representative Laila De Lima. Yesterday, we discussed the substance of the third impeachment complaint. The allegations are not light matters. Misuse of confidential funds, bribery, grave threats, ill-gotten wealth, grossly disproportionate to lawful income, and acts allegedly undermining constitutional order. Representative Chel Jokno pointed us to disbursement documents bearing the Vice President's signature, raising questions of direct knowledge and accountability. Representative Joel Chua highlighted sworn affidavits referenced in the complaint, including testimony about procurement irregularities and the alleged handling of public funds. Meanwhile, Representative Rufus Rodriguez raised a constitutional question. Can a vice president be impeached for acts done while concurrently serving as Secretary of Education? The response from several members was clear. Public trust is indivisible. At that point, Representative Benny Abante gave us one of the most memorable moments of the hearing. He raised 2 hands and said, in essence, one hand may act separately from the other, but there is only one brain directing both hands. Dalawang kamay, isang utak, isang opisyal, isang pananagutan. You cannot divide accountability depending on which title is convenient. The Constitution speaks to the office, not the label. We also examined statements attributed to the Vice President that some characterized as conditional or not serious. Representative Bong Suntay even suggested that certain remarks were merely a joke or might fall under imagination. And that was when Representative Janice Degamo rose. She did not speak in anger. She spoke in memory. She reminded us that before the tragic killing of her husband, Governor Roel Degamo, there were threats, conditional at first, words, but words that became real. Her message was simple and powerful. Ang banta, lalo na mula sa mataas na opisyal, ay hindi biro. Threats from high office are never just imagination. They carry weight. They create fear. They can destabilize institutions. Yes, there were references to premonition on the first day and to imagination yesterday. At one point, an example involving a public figure seen in a mall was offered to illustrate the harmlessness of imagination. I will not dwell on that illustration. I will simply say this. This committee is not a forum of fantasy. Hindi ito sinihan. Hindi ito komedya. Ito ay pagdinig sa pananagutan. Let me say this clearly. Impeachment is not about premonition. It is not about imagination. It is about constitutional accountability. At this stage, we are not deciding guilt. Hindi pa ito hatol. The question before us is narrower but crucial. Are the allegations, if assumed true for purposes of this stage, sufficient in substance to warrant further proceedings? If the accusations are speculative, we must dismiss them. If they are trivial, we must reject them. But if they raise serious constitutional questions about public funds, abuse of authority, and violations of public trust, then we must not close the door prematurely. So today, we turn to the fourth impeachment complaint, endorsed by Representative Benny Abante and D.S. Paulo Ortega. Some allegations may overlap with the third impeachment complaint. Others may reinforce it. Our task remains the same. Determine whether it meets the constitutional threshold of sufficiency in substance. So we ask, is the fourth impeachment complaint consisting of 7 grounds or 7 articles sufficient in substance? Do the allegations rise to the level of impeachable offenses? Do these complaints meet the constitutional threshold to move forward? And importantly, are the allegations credible enough to justify moving forward with the process? Iyan ang tungkulin natin ngayon. And by the end of our deliberations today, it is my hope that this committee will consider all the arguments from day 1 until today, from March 2 until March 4, and be prepared to vote on the sufficiency in substance of both the third and the fourth impeachment complaints. This is not about personalities. This is not about political convenience. Hindi ito laban ng kampo. Ito ay usapin ng konstitusyon. History will not ask whether this was comfortable. History will ask whether we were faithful to our oath. kung sapat ang reklamo para umusad ang proseso, dapat natin itong ituloy. If the constitutional threshold is met, we should not be afraid to let the constitutional process move forward. Now, let us proceed, calm but firm, fair but fearless. Maraming salamat po.